How are you going to get that job that you really want? Well, there's a big thing that you can do to help you get there. I am a big believer in God helping us in all areas of our life. I believe He wants us to be successful in all areas. Hi, everybody. I'm Jen Anderson, and my goal is to help people to really see how God is guiding them in their careers so that they can have successful work. And I have seen this in so many of my clients over the years. In 21 years, I've helped about 100,000 people to make job changes and career improvements through different transitions. And one thing that I have noticed that has happened for people through that whole process is how important it is to recognize that if you're failing at a job, if you've been fired, laid off, or something like that, that it's not that you're failing in your career overall, that more often than not, God is actually using those opportunities to guide you and to get you to where He wants you to be. And so if you look at like, oh, I have failed, everything is terrible because I have been fired from this job, and I'm just going to go home and I'm going to sit on the couch and eat bonbons and watch soap operas for the rest of my life, well, then you're letting Satan win. Quite honestly, don't do that. Don't allow those little kinds of things to hold you back. It's more often than not an opportunity for God to redirect you and to get you on the path that He wants you to go on. I'll share with you a little story about from my life that totally happened because I was working at a company as a staff in a staffing agency, and I was the manager of a branch. And when I had taken over the branch, it was ranked at one of the worst staffing agency offices in that entire company. And within 6 months, I was able to turn it around and get it so it was in the top 10. And then by the time I actually got fired from this job, I was the branch was number one or number two. We'd always flip flop back and forth between another branch and our branch as far as number one. Place as far as revenue that the company was generating. So I was able to take a totally failing office that had no leadership and to turn it around and have all these awesome things. And I had great relationships with my clients, and my employees were fantastic, and my other peers and whatnot. But I got fired from that job. And there's a lot of reasons around what happened through that whole process that as I look back on it, I realized getting fired from that job actually was a huge blessing. That my boss at the time did a favor for me because I wasn't happy and I knew that it wasn't where I was supposed to be, that there was something else I was supposed to be doing, but I wouldn't do it for myself. And I kept pushing because I wanted to prove to everybody that this was a number one branch and that I've got it going on and that stuff is awesome. And then I got fired, and things were not great. And that is a wonderful way that God just helped to move me and direct me and to get me going to different places. And I ended up moving to a different part of the state where I was living in at the time. And in that, working at this new company. And from that branch, I moved to another state and had other really wonderful, amazing experiences that have led me to where I am at today. And so I could look back at that and I could say, oh my gosh, I was fired and I am broken and I am terrible, but that's not the case at all. I actually leverage that information and I use that as a personal example and experience. So when I'm coaching with other people, I know what it's like to be there and to have what feels like to be this massive thing that just feels like the ground falls out from underneath you. But really it isn't, because God is always there and He has that safety net and He's going to guide us and He's going to direct us. And so it is possible to get the job that you want, but you need to look at what your story is and to look and to see how have you been molded and guided, and that becomes a really important piece of you having an effective job search. Listen, if you want to know more about this, look down below in the comments and you're going to see some information about my job search jumpstart, and it is an amazing program to help you so that you can more effectively do a job search that's going to lead you to your dream job. And it'd be my honor to support you and to guide you, to help you in doing an effective job search. So come on over, come join us, and remember through this process that you are not broken, you are not defective. There's nothing that is terrible, unless of course you've done something seriously unethical or immoral, right? Then that's a different piece of the story, but likely that's not the case for most people watching this video. So come on along with me and I will show you how God has a message for you and is guiding you in your career so that you can have more success. And I'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.